Build the God Squad you've always wanted. InstantMuttCoins.com. Instant delivery, cheapest prices, 24/7 support. Use code CC 15% off. EA tax 10% is covered. Hey, what is going on, Madden family? We are here doing another rankings list. This one is for receivers, but I'm starting you guys the bonus tight ends first, because if we throw it at the end, people might miss it. We're going to go through it real quick. Just the top best tight ends. There's no surprises here. I've pretty much used most of them, right? Shannon Sharp and Winslow, pretty similar cards. I like them, but they're not that different, really. I don't know who I would go with. I'd probably go with Shannon Sharp over Winslow. Kittle is really good. Kittle is really good. He's got the top end speed, the run blocking, but his price is it's too high. It's too high. Instead, you need a budget tight end. You go get Waller. He's really quite good. 6'6", 86 speed. We talked about salary cap. We see he's an 87, and his salary cap is actually higher than Kittle's. Tells you a lot. It's a good card. Evan Ingram, I think, is my favorite tight end in the game, simply because now he can be powered up and all that. He's really fast. He does have some drop issues. He's got some drops issues, but I don't expect him to catch everything. That's where someone like Gronk would come into play. But again, Gronk is good. He's just really, really overpriced. He's really overpriced. I couldn't put him too high. Dallas Clark, the new guy on the block. Great receiving tight end. You need a receiving tight end, he's probably the best. If you run the ball, which means if you play Madden 20, he's not great. That run block it's like the lowest in the game. So you may need like a tight end by committee, especially if you're going to start running some more running sets. Clark may come out. But the surprise here is Greg Olsen, the highest cap value out of all the tight ends. He's just really solid all the way across. He's who I would recommend to a lot of people. I don't have him. I don't use him. I prefer a little more speed. So maybe if you depth, you want to get an Olsen and a Waller or something like that. I wouldn't hate on you. I think he might be the cheapest of the bunch, right? Besides Waller, he is just barely. So keep in mind that's where you want to go for tight ends. Again, we don't need a full rankings, but let's hop into receivers. I think you're going to enjoy this one. Receivers. That's a key point. Torrey Holt is not on this list because everyone can have Torrey Holt. We're not putting him up there. Torrey Holt's just really good. Everyone knows that Torrey Holt is really good. Probably the best receiver in the game. We all know that. We get that. I had a tough choice putting some of these cards in here. There's actually some I haven't used. I'm just looking at them based on their stats and their archetype. Let's just start out with the obvious. Tyreek Hill he's S tier. He's got the wheels. Tyreek Hill, we all know that's where he goes, okay? We know that's where he goes. We get it. DeAndre Hopkins, ultimate kickoff card. Now, DeAndre Hopkins suffers from a lifelong issue in Mutt of not having very good base cards. This year was no different. His base card was not very good. It means that his upgrades are going to be really bad. And he's not the worst receiver out here, but I'm going to put him in the C tier. I know he's not a physical freak, but they did him pretty dirty. T.Y. Hilton. Redux, Signature Series, whatever you want to call it. Underrated card. He's no giant. He's only 5'10" in the game. But he's pretty good. His stats are really, really good. He's got a good archetype. I'm going to put him ahead of Hopkins. I'm going to put him ahead of Hopkins in C, actually. I'm going to put him ahead of Hopkins in C. I still feel like you need some size and some stuff that he can do. But T.Y. Hilton, great. I mean, if you're calling it a budget receiver, he's great at that. Julio Jones. I love Julio Jones. I love Julio. I love Julio. His time's just passed. Really solid. His next card will be up pretty high. Maybe not S tier, maybe A or B. But I'm going to put him down at C as well. And that hurts me. That hurts me to my core. That hurts me. I'm going to put Marvin Jones right there as well. Lots of these C tier receivers. The reason why I'm putting a lot more cards down lower for receiver is I feel like there is a big gap. It's not like, oh, well, they're similar. Some of these cards are similar. Like, they're pretty similar. You get a card like Dante Hall. Lots of speed. Not a great actual receiver, but he's got the speed. And speed is great. So this sort of B tier I'm using as like a specialist sort of area to capture these cards. He's the biggest specialist in the game right now, obviously. He's Tyreek Hill without the catching, but higher overall. It doesn't make sense. Same thing, oddly enough. We're gonna put Mecole Hardman in there as well. You should have, if you aren't rocking some God Squad, or if you are, maybe you should probably have Mecole Hardman on your team. You should. He falls in here. I would have rather have Hardman than any of these guys below. Any of these guys below. Sammy Watkins, really balanced receiver. He's going to fall in the C category here as well. He's not quite A again. The whole power-up thing kind of is going to hurt some of these cards. Similar with Christian Kirk, but I actually think Christian Kirk. Now, again, he doesn't have a power-up. And I know if he had a power-up, he may be higher up on the A tier, but he's a really solid looking card, and I wish he had a power-up. He looks like Donald Driver to me, because I'm putting Donald Driver up here at S. I think he's right up there with Torrey Holt as the best receiver, complete package receiver in the game. Donald Driver and Torrey Holt, in my opinion. Tyreek's just got the speed, obviously. Cooper Kupp, we're just going to throw him into D. We had to put someone in D. It's Cooper Kupp. I'm sorry. Tyler Lockett, we're going to throw him into the B tier here as well. Compared him to Torrey Holt, they kind of look a little similar in some stats. Lockett does get like jukebox, right? Which is great. He drops a lot of easy passes. A lot of passes that Torrey Holt or Donald Driver hold on to. Lockett drops. And I kind of need you to have a little bit of catch and traffic at times. So, Tyler, I'm sorry. I like you. You're on my team. You're just down here. And you're only on my team because you're Nav. I'm sorry. Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice. I'm going to put Jerry Rice down here in C, along with these other guys. Again, more of a byproduct of when his card came out. If Jerry Rice was in 93, he's probably a little higher up. He's just a base 90, right? So it does hurt him. I'm going to put T.O. up here because he always holds on to the ball. And I don't know why he always holds on to the ball, but he always holds on to the ball. I think that T.O. is really good this year. There's something about him. I don't have him. I'm not a big T.O. fan, so I let my judgment get clouded a lot of times in MUT. But I think he's pretty good. This might be a little high for him. It might be a little high. Maybe we'll put him the first at B tier. And then we have Randy Moss. I feel like Randy Moss should be an S, but I'm going to put him as the first A. The reason why I put him at the first A is I feel like as this price comes down, and this is where a lot of this comes from, he's the most expensive receiver in the game. He was millions and millions and millions of coins when he came out. And he's a really good card. But I felt like he was overrated. He's the only receiver that I've used that I feel like is overrated. He does a lot of really good things, but I've taken him out of my lineup in favor of Tyreek Hill, and I have not missed a beat. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, Tyreek's expensive, but so the top three, top four would be Tyreek. This is not in order. Tyreek, Driver, Moss, and Holt. Then you add a specialist in there, maybe a T.O. If you can't have a Moss or a Christian Kirk, some of these cards, they are expensive. Add in Lockett, Hardman, Julio, Marvin Jones. Really good cards. There's not a ton of difference, really, between the receivers. I would probably stay away from Watkins, Jerry for now. and Hopkins the most on the lower level. I think that ranking system is about right on where I would take the card. So that's pretty simple. You got tight ends, you got receivers, you got my thoughts on it. Some of you guys may disagree, or we may be missing receivers. Again, there's cards like Brandon Cooks, where you could throw them up in the B tier or the C tier, no problem. Thielen and Diggs, I know they've got good cards too. But there's nothing special here. We would just be loading up on probably the C area with them anyway. And I felt like so many of these cards were C. I just didn't want to have a full row of C's, you know. So pretty much if they have a high rated card, high-ish, 90, 89 plus, they're probably in this range. I just assume they're in the C range, okay? Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm out. Peace.